Hello, my name's Jeff Morgan and welcome to FMVI, and this is a chord. The topic of this video is how we can use a chord to solve complex inspection problems. So this is a detailed video how we can use the power of a chord to solve and resolve quite a complicated problem. And I'm going to try and break this down into a couple of sections, so there's about 4 or 5 sections. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to log into the instance and I'll select our project. Just accept my notifications, and I'm going to go on this left hand side and I'll go into the reference area here. So I'm going to go into the item export. I'm going to create a special export that we're going to use to help solve this complicated ATEX problem. So go into this area here and I'm going to create a new export which I'm going to call ATEX Special. And export that data, and it will say up here export is started, and it will notify me when that's finished. Just to let you know that that is doing a very intense process, and it will take potentially a couple of minutes depending on the speed of your internet connection. So let's go back to the reference to refresh that and go back into item exports, and there indeed is our ATEX Special. This is done a very comprehensive report. It's reported all of the total contents of everything that is in a chord and all the cross-reference and cross-relationships. So it will take a little while, so that you're aware of that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to download that ATEX Special report here. Click on downloads, and again that will just take a second depending on the speed of your internet connection. And I'm quite a fast connection, so there it is here, ATEX Special. And there it's downloaded. So I'm going to go ahead and open that, and again this will take a second because it's a huge database. So open that. Let's give me a second to open. And of course, because I'm running multi-screen, it's open on a different screen, so I'll just drag that across so we can see and take a look at this. So what we've actually got here is an extraction of everything that is in a chord. So I'm just going to move to the end, and you'll see that it's 168,000 lines. So what we need to do here is to filter these results so that we can use the information that's in here. Because if we run across this database, it'll be all the fields that are contained within the chord instance, so it extracts all that out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just bring this other version across where I've actually color coded some of these so you can see the information. These are all the fields that contained in a chord. So there's 300 and something fields of all the data from all the cross references from everything that's the consolidated information and data that comes into a chord. We're only interested in particular model, so if I just filter this and filter it by model, there's the equipment type reference model that we're interested in, so that's the field that we're interested in. So go back into this page here, and what I've already done is color code it so you can see this is the model number, and in particular Dave's told us that we're interested in this 3051 model, and so I've just applied a filter to the fields so we can see that this is the equipment reference type. There it is there, model 3051. Now if we just look at this list, you can see that these are all the tags, and there's some 257 tags that are of that particular type of model. And we can run across this instance and we can look at the various different fields I've color coded. Pay particular attention to this equipment class field here because I'm going to use that in a second. There's the model number 3051, and that's all various different data, and there's the other model type reference 3051. So what I want to do is I want to create some work. I want to create a special form only for these tags. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to extract this onto an Excel, import it into a code, changing this equipment class to, I'm going to call it ATEX Special. So I'm just going to clean this up and then we'll import that into a code. So I'll just bring this other database across that we've cleaned this up. So this is an extraction of that instance of all the tags that are of that 3051, the equipment, and the tells us the source it's come from ATEX1. So that's where it's telling us that these have come from, and the tag descriptions. And I've given this equipment class of ATEX1. So if we just pause that there for a second, and we're going to utilize that information in a second. So let's go back to the Accord instance, and I'm going to create a form which we will utilize just for those 3051 devices. So in this forms area here, let's go to our forms list, and I've already created a form which I've called special. There it is there, ATEX Special, and if we have a look at that we can see the PDF of it. I've just put a couple of items on. Is it good, is it okay? I can edit that, and in this section here we can see that I've just added 5 activities. Check the condition of the gaskets, no obvious sign of mechanical damage, it's clean and dry and free from dust and moisture. So that's what would be these 5 activities. We can add more to this, but just for the purpose of this quick demonstration I've just put in half a dozen. I want to draw your attention to something very significant, because this is the important part. This ATEX Special form needs 1 personnel, 1 signatures, but we've ticked the cyclic box. So in this cyclic area we can choose the period that this form will reappear, and I've put in 6 months. So this particular form for those tags will reappear in the work listing, in our schedule, in our calendar, to be repeated every 6 months. So what I'm going to do is make sure that I've mapped this form to our ATEX Special equipment class. So we'll go back to the dashboard. Oops, that's because I didn't save any changes, that's alright. And I'm going to come back into our classes area here, and in particular our work maps. So this is where I'm work maps, and we created that work map of ATEX Special. So I just put in ATEX Special, there it is there, and let's view that work map for that ATEX Special. So any piece of equipment that is classified as ATEX Special will get this special inspection. There's 5 activities, and I've left it set as default as the AT01, which is the ATEX inspection. So we can add or take those away. I could remove that and save that there, but that's how we set up the equipment class mapping, i.e. work maps. So let's just go back to our dashboard, and then now what I'm going to do, I'm going to look for one of the tags that was on our listing. So bring that list across. This was the filtered list that we created, the ATEX Special. There's all of those 3051s, and I'll just pick one of these, pick that tag, that will do, and copy that tag so we can search for that one. And there it is there. So this is that FT, and we'll find in all of the details that's come across. That's a flow transmitter, and the information that we're looking for will be, took me a second there, this is an Emerson, and here is the equipment type reference. It's a 3051, and then the model number is this 3051. That's the flow transmitter indicator, and that's all its details. Important to note that all the drawings and documentation, the loop drawings and diagrams and everything that's the operative needs to go and do that work, click on one of the links for one of these and that loop drawing opens up, etc. So that works in the same or similar way that all the rest of them do. But what I'm just drawing attention to is this area here, inspections, and click on that inspections, and here we have allocated to this AT Special, that carries a special inspection. We want to check the status of these, and what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to assign it to myself. So I'll assign that to myself. There, assign and reset to myself, and it sent the details, sent the inspection. Inspection has been updated, and now if I enter into my inspections, that will be in my list of inspections. So there it is in my list of inspections, has been one that's outstanding for me to do. If we just go back to the dashboard, just want to show you another feature that's built into the scheduling. So we come into this area here, scheduling, and we can look in the scheduling list, and I'm going to filter by those forms, the SP. So here we can see all of those forms are scheduled, they're available, planned, and they're on a deadline. So they all can be planned into the work routine. And just worthwhile noting that down the bottom here, 256, that's the 256 that are need to be done, to be covered, and we can plan them and schedule them from here. So just to close out and recap, from a code we can identify and plan work, we can allocate work maps and special forms. We can put on those forms that there is a time element, as in they'll be repeated every so many months, and then those go on to the assigned inspections and be allocated and sent to personnel to complete that work. So my name's Jeff Morgan, this is FMVI Code, and that's me complete.